अगर आप CS304 के फाइनल पेपर को लेकर परेशान हैं, तो ये वीडियो आपकी ज़िंदगी आसान कर देगी। अब हज़ारों फाइल्स के पीछे भागने के बजाय सिर्फ उन खास उन्वानात पर तवज्जो दें जो हर साल पेपर का हिस्सा बनते हैं। हमने फाइनल टर्म का मुकम्मल निचोड़ निकाल कर इस वीडियो में जमा कर दिया है, ताकि आप कम वक्त में बेहतरीन तैयारी कर सकें। तो चलिए कामयाबी की तरफ पहला कदम उठाते हैं।
Q1. Which type of inheritance represents an ISA relationship? Answer. C. Public explanation. Public inheritance indicates that the derived class is a specialized version of the base class. For example, a dog ISA animal. Q2. In protected inheritance, public members of the base class become in the derived class. Answer C. Protected explanation. When using protected inheritance, both the public and protected members of the base class are treated as protected within the derived class. Q3. Which of the following is a correct example of multiple inheritance? Answer. D. Class A, public B, public C. Explanation. In multiple inheritance, a single class inherits from more than one base class, separated by commas. Q4. The diamond problem in multiple inheritance is resolved in C++ using. Answer. B. Virtual inheritance explanation. The diamond problem occurs when two base classes share the same parent. Virtual inheritance ensures that only one instance of the top-level parent class is passed to the derived class. Q5. Which keyword is used to prevent a member function from modifying the object state? Answer B. Const explanation. Adding the const keyword to a function signature ensures that the function cannot change any member variables of the class. Topic 2. Virtual functions and abstract classes. Q6. A class containing at least one pure virtual function is called. Answer. B. Abstract class explanation. An abstract class is a class that cannot be instantiated on its own and must contain at least one pure virtual function to define an interface. Q7. Which of the following is the correct syntax for a pure virtual function? Answer. A. Virtual void func equals 0. Explanation. Pure virtual functions are declared by assigning equals 0 at the end of the declaration, meaning the function has no implementation in that class. Q8. Virtual functions allow C++ to support. Answer. B. Runtime polymorphism explanation. Virtual functions allow the program to decide which function to execute at runtime based on the object type. This is also known as dynamic binding. Q9. Which of the following is true about virtual destructors? Answer. D. They prevent memory leaks in inheritance hierarchies. Explanation. Virtual destructors ensure that when an object is deleted through a base class pointer, the derived class's destructor is also called, properly releasing memory. Q10. Dynamic binding is associated with. Answer. C. Late binding explanation. Late binding means the link between the function call and the actual code is made during the program's execution, runtime rather than during compilation. Topic 3. Templates and generic programming. Q11. Which keyword is used to define a function template? Answer. A. Template explanation. The template keyword is used to create generic functions or classes that can work with any data type. Q12. In the template declaration template, T is a. Answer. C. Type parameter explanation. T acts as a placeholder or parameter that will be replaced by an actual data type, like int or float when the template is used. Q13. Template specialization is used when. Answer. B. We need a specific implementation for a particular type. Explanation. If we want a template to behave differently for a specific data type, we use template specialization to provide that unique logic. Q14. Which of the following is a valid class template declaration? Answer. D. Both A and C. Explanation. In C++ templates, the keywords class and type name are interchangeable when defining type parameters. Q15. Non-type template parameters can be of type. Answer. A. Int explanation. Templates can accept constant values as parameters. These are usually integral types, such as integers, rather than data types themselves. Topic 4. Operator overloading. Q16. Which operator cannot be overloaded? Answer. C. Explanation. Certain operators in C++, such as scope resolution, dot, and sizeoff, are prohibited from being overloaded. Q17. To overload the stream insertion operator and LT. As a non-member function, it must be declared as. Answer. A. Friend function explanation. Because the first parameter of an LT and LT is an Ostream object, we must declare the overload as a N039. Friend function and #039 to access the class and #039 S private data. Q18, the copy assignment operator should return answer. C. A reference to the object explanation. Returning a reference allows for operator chaining, enabling expressions like a equals B equals C. Q19. Which operator is overloaded to provide array-like access to objects? Answer. C. Explanation. Overloading the subscript operator allows an object to be indexed just like a standard array. Q20. Overloading the ++ operator for post-increment requires. Answer. B. One int parameter explanation. To distinguish between pre-increment and post-increment, C++ uses a dummy int parameter in the signature for the post-increment version. Topic 5. Exception handling and SDL Q21. Which keyword is used to throw an exception? Answer. C. Throw explanation. The throw keyword is used to signal the occurrence of an error or an exceptional condition during program execution. Q22. The catch. Block catches. Answer. See all exceptions explanation. A catch block with 3 dots is known as a catch-all handler. It intercepts any type of exception thrown. Q23. Which SDL container provides dynamic array functionality? Answer. B. Vector explanation. A vector is a sequence container that can automatically resize itself when elements are added or removed. Q24. Iterators in SDL are used to. Answer. B. Traverse containers explanation. Iterators act like pointers that allow us to move through the elements of a container like a list or vector sequentially. Q25. Which header file is required for using std vector? Answer. A. Explanation. To utilize the vector container, you must include the header at the beginning of your C++ program. Q26. In multiple inheritance, if 2 base classes have a function with the same name, the derived class can resolve the ambiguity by. Answer. B. Using the scope resolution operator explanation. When a name conflict occurs, the compiler gets confused. We use the scope resolution operator to explicitly tell the compiler which class's function to execute. Q27. Which of the following is true about virtual inheritance? Answer. A. It prevents multiple copies of base class in diamond inheritance explanation. In a diamond hierarchy, a child could end up with 2 copies of the grandparent class. Virtual inheritance ensures only one shared copy exists. Q28. The override keyword in C++11 is used to. Answer. B. Indicate that a function overrides a base class virtual function explanation. This keyword acts as a safeguard. It tells the compiler to check if the function actually exists in the base class. If not, the compiler will trigger an error. Q29. Which type of inheritance is used for implemented in terms of relationship? Answer. B. Private explanation. Private inheritance is used when you want to use the features of a base class internally, but you don't want to expose that relationship to the outside world. Q30. In C++, dynamic binding is achieved through. Answer. B. Virtual functions explanation. Dynamic binding allows the program to decide which function to call at runtime. In C++, this is only possible using virtual functions. Topic. Abstract classes and interfaces. Q31. An abstract class in C++ must have. Answer. A. At least one pure virtual function explanation. An abstract class is designed to be incomplete. It must have at least one function declared with equals 0, which is called a pure virtual function. Q32. Which of the following can be instantiated? Answer. B. Concrete class explanation. You cannot create objects of an abstract class or an interface. Only a concrete class, where all functions are fully defined, can be instantiated. Q33. A class with only pure virtual functions and no data members is similar to. Answer. B. Interface explanation. An interface acts as a contract or a blueprint. It tells you what the class must do without providing the logic for how to do it. Q34. If a derived class does not override a pure virtual function, it becomes. Answer. B. Abstract explanation. If a child class fails to implement its parent's pure virtual functions, it inherits that incompleteness and remains an abstract class. Q35. The purpose of an abstract class is to. Answer. A. Provide a common interface for derived classes explanation. It serves as a base design or standard that all child classes must follow, ensuring consistency across the program. Topic: Advanced Operator Overloading Q36. Which operator cannot be overloaded as a friend function? Answer: C. Explanation. C++ rules state that the subscript, assignment equals, and function call operators must be member functions, not friend functions. Q37. Overloading the assignment operator equals should handle. Answer: D. Both B and C. Explanation. A robust assignment operator must perform a deep copy to manage memory correctly and check for self-assignment to prevent accidentally deleting its own data. Q38. The stream extraction operator overloaded as a friend function returns. Answer: B. Istream and explanation. By returning a reference to Istream, we can chain inputs together, like writing sin x, y. Q39. Which operator is overloaded to make a class work like a function? Answer: A. Explanation. When you overload the parenthesis operator, the object behaves like a function. These objects are commonly known as functors. Q40. For overloading the subscript operator, the function should return. Answer: B. A reference to the element explanation. Returning a reference is vital because it allows us to both read and modify the element, such as setting obj5 equals 10. Topic: Advanced Templates Q41. Partial specialization of templates is allowed for. Answer: B. Class templates only explanation. While you can overload function templates, C++ only allows partial specialization for classes. Q42. In template, the size is a. Answer: B. Non-type parameter explanation. Since int size represents a constant value rather than a data type, it is categorized as a non-type template parameter. Q43. Which is correct about template specialization? Answer: B. It provides a specific implementation for a particular type explanation. Specialization is used when the generic logic doesn't work for a specific type, like char asterisk, so we write a custom version just for that type. Q44. Member templates are. Answer: A. Templates inside a class explanation. These are simply template functions or nested template classes defined within the scope of another class. Q45. Template arguments can be. Answer: See both types and values explanation. C++ templates are flexible. They can accept types like double or constant values like the integer 100. Topic: Exception handling and advanced concepts Q46. The noexcept specifier in C++11 indicates that a function. Answer: B. Will not throw exceptions explanation. This tells the compiler that the function is guaranteed to be exception-free, which allows for better code optimization. Q47. Stack unwinding occurs when. Answer: A. An exception is thrown explanation. When an error occurs, the system starts unwinding the stack to destroy all local objects in that scope, ensuring resources are cleaned up before handling the error. Q48. Which of the following is not a standard exception class in C++? Answer: C. STD. Format error explanation. While runtime error and bad alloc are standard, format error is not part of the traditional standard exception library found in earlier C++ versions. Q49. Resource acquisition is initialization. RAII is used for. Answer: B. Exception-safe resource handling explanation. RAII ensures that resources like memory or file handles are tied to an object's lifespan. They are acquired when the object is born and released automatically when it dies. Q50. Which header file is required for STD? Exception. Answer: A. Explanation. This is the base header file that contains the definition of the standard exception class in C++. Q51. Which of the following is not a sequence container in STL? Answer: D. Map explanation. Sequence containers like vector, list, and dex store data in a linear order. A map, however, is an associative container that stores data as key-value pairs. Q52. Which STL container is typically implemented as a doubly linked list? Answer: B. List explanation. In C++, std, list is implemented as a doubly linked list, which allows for fast insertions and deletions from both the front and the back. Q53. Which of the following is an associative container? Answer: C. Map explanation. Associative containers use keys to store and retrieve data efficiently. Common examples include map, set, multimap, and multiset. Q54. What is the primary purpose of an iterator in STL? Answer: B. To traverse the elements of a container explanation, iterators act as a bridge between containers and algorithms. They allow you to step through elements of a collection without needing to know the underlying structure. Q55. Which algorithm is used to sort a container in STL? Answer B. STD. Sort explanation. The STD sort function found in the header is the standard way to sort elements in containers like vectors and decks. Q56. Which of the following is a container adapter in STL? Answer B. Stack explanation. A container adapter is a class that uses an underlying container like deck or list to provide a specific interface, such as LIFO, last in, first out for a stack. Q57. What does STL stand for? Answer: a standard template library explanation. It is a software library for the C++ programming language that heavily uses templates to provide generic containers, algorithms, and iterators. Q58. Which of the following is a bidirectional iterator? Answer: B-list iterator explanation. Unlike a vector iterator, which allows random access, jumping to any spot, a list iterator is bidirectional, meaning it can move one step forward or one step backward. Q59. Which header file is required for using STD? Vector. Answer: A. Explanation. To use the dynamic array functionality of a vector, you must include the specific library at the top of your code. Q60. Which of the following is a key advantage of using STL containers? Answer: B. They provide memory management and dynamic growth explanation. Unlike traditional C-style arrays, STL containers manage their own memory. If you add more data than the current capacity, they automatically grow to accommodate the new elements. Q62. Which of the following is a valid template function declaration? Answer: C. Both A and B explanation. In C++, you can use either the class or type name keyword to declare a template parameter. Both are equally valid and perform the same function. Q63. In template programming, what does the keyword type name and class represent? Answer: A. They are interchangeable in template parameters explanation. Within the angle brackets of a template declaration, class T and type name T mean exactly the same thing to the compiler. Q64. What is template specialization? Answer: C. Providing a separate implementation for a specific data type explanation. Sometimes the general logic of a template doesn't work for a specific type, like char asterisk. Specialization allows you to write a custom version of the template just for that specific type. Q65. Which of the following is true about function templates? Answer: A. They are used to create a family of functions explanation. Instead of writing multiple overloaded functions for int, double, and float, you write one template. The compiler then generates a family of functions based on that single blueprint. Topic: Exception handling. Q66. Which keyword is used to catch all exceptions? Answer: A. Catch. Explanation, known as the ellipsis catch block catch, acts as a safety net that catches any exception regardless of its type. Q67. What is the purpose of the throw keyword? Answer: A. To throw an exception explanation. When an error or unexpected behavior occurs, the throw keyword is used to transfer control from the point of error to a matching catch block. Q68. Which of the following is the base class for all standard exceptions in C++? Answer: A. STD. Exception explanation. All standard exceptions provided by the C++ library, such as runtime error or bad alloc, are derived from this single base class. Q69. What is stack unwinding? Answer: A. The process of removing function calls from the call stack when an exception is thrown explanation. When an exception is thrown, C++ cleans up the memory by calling destructors for all local objects created in the functions currently on the stack. This ensures no resources are leaked during the error. Q70. Which of the following is a standard exception that represents logic errors? Answer: B. Explanation. Logic errors are problems in the program's internal logic, such as an invalid argument or an out-of-range error that could theoretically be avoided by better coding. Q71. What is the purpose of the noexcept specifier? Answer: B. To indicate that a function does not throw exceptions explanation. By marking a function as noexcept, you promise the compiler that it won't throw errors. This allows the compiler to optimize the code for better performance. And that's a wrap on these essential OOP questions. We hope this session clarified the tricky parts of object-oriented programming and gave you more confidence for your upcoming exams. Good luck with your studies, and we'll see you in the next lecture.